She wrote on her own son's court paperwork, "I have no son. He was 12 years old." And that's just the beginning of this story. Stick around because after this, we've got 4 more stories that will absolutely floor you. Betrayals, impossible choices, and moments that'll make you question everything you thought you knew about family. My mother wrote, "I have no son" on a court document when I was 12 years old. I've carried those words for almost 30 years. And last summer, I drove her to an airport, set her bag on the curb, and left her there without a ticket home. Let me tell you how we got there. I left my mom's house through the courts at 12. The abuse had gotten bad enough that a judge agreed I needed out. I moved in with my dad, and on the paperwork finalizing that decision, where it asked for the child's name, she wrote that, not my name, a declaration that I didn't exist to her anymore. I was 12. We had almost no contact after that. A little at 17, some in my early 20s, nothing consistent. By the time I hit my late 30s, I'd spent over 20 years drinking heavily, and when I finally got sober in 2018, I made a decision to try to reconnect with the people I still had left, including her. She was pushing 70. 2 of her 3 kids wanted nothing to do with her. I figured I'd try. The first real conversation we had about the past, I asked if she'd ever reflected on any of it. She told me I needed to let it go already. And honestly, that was clarifying. I realized that whatever peace I found in this relationship, I'd have to build it myself. She wasn't going to meet me halfway, so I adjusted my expectations and kept showing up anyway. We stayed in contact. We had family reunions. We even traveled overseas together for 3 weeks. It was rocky, like it always was, but it was something. So last summer, I invited her to visit my city. There was a band she'd loved since I was a kid, and they were playing. The plan was clean and simple. She'd fly in Wednesday, concert Thursday. She'd fly out Friday to visit my sisters. I'd leave Saturday morning for my own trip. Easy. When she arrived, she mentioned almost as an aside that she'd only bought a one-way ticket and planned to book the return later. I didn't let it go. I reminded her multiple times that Friday's flight needed to be booked. I was clear, or at least I thought I was, that I wasn't comfortable with anyone staying in my house while I was away. The concert came and went. Then Friday morning, she told me she hadn't booked the flight. Prices had gone up, and she decided she was just going to stay a few extra days at my place while I was gone. I told her directly, "I'm leaving at 5 in the morning. You need to be on a plane." I even offered to cover the difference in cost. She refused. She said she was my mother and I should trust her. I told her it wasn't about trust. I just didn't want anyone in my home while I wasn't there. That's a boundary. It's mine. It's allowed. The argument escalated. Then she said it. "Fine. Take me to the airport." I think she expected me to fold. Every instinct in her probably told her I would apologize. Back down, tell her to forget it and stay. That's the pattern, right? The one we'd both been practicing for decades. I didn't fold. I packed the car. I put my daughter in the back seat, and I drove to the airport in complete silence. When we got there, it felt like a standoff. She sat in that passenger seat waiting for me to brake. I got out, pulled her bag from the trunk, and set it on the curb. I told her if she couldn't find a ticket, I'd help pay for a hotel. Then I got back in the car, and I left. Months later, I'm still sitting with it. Because here's the thing I didn't expect. I don't feel righteous about what I did. I feel sad. Because the update to this story isn't that I finally stood up for myself and everything got better. She stopped answering my calls. My texts go unread. And I'm left wondering whether I was protecting myself or just replaying the same rupture we've been stuck in my whole life. My dad died before we could be as close as I wanted. He knew I got sober. He was proud of me. And I didn't get enough time with him. That regret doesn't go away. Now my mom is getting older, and I can feel time moving, and I don't know if what I'm feeling is guilt or grief or just fear. Fear that I'll lose her too before anything gets resolved. I don't regret the boundary. I needed to hold it. But I'm also honest enough to admit that when I'm stressed, my reasonable limits can come out sharper than I mean them to. I was frustrated. Maybe it showed. I'm sober. I'm trying. I'm proud of the relationships I've rebuilt with my sisters. I know change is possible because I've lived it. I just don't know how to get her to pick up the phone. So tell me this, when someone has hurt you deeply and still refuses to acknowledge it, how much do you keep trying before you accept that the door is closed for good? This one still makes me angry. My wife Paula and I just got back from our first trip away since our twins were born. We gave her mom, Hakiko, a spare key, just to check on the place if needed. Simple enough, right? We walked in and an entire room had been cleared out. Hakiko was standing there grinning, proud of herself. She said she wanted to surprise us with a modern look, so she donated Paula's furniture. Just gave it away. Not just any furniture. Paula's grandmother had passed away and left her two hand-carved mahogany pieces, a desk and a vanity. They were irreplaceable. They were Paula's most treasured possessions. Gone. Replaced with cheap flat-pack stuff Hakiko picked up somewhere. I told her to leave and hand over the key, change the locks the next day. Now the whole family is blowing up my phone calling me abusive and controlling for banning a grandmother from her grandchildren over. And I quote, some old junky wood. They're saying Hakiko's heart was in the right place. Her heart was in the right place. Paula has been crying since we walked through the door. She agrees with everything I did, but the non-stop guilt from her family is starting to make me feel like I did something wrong. I didn't. I know I didn't. But I need someone to tell me straight. Would you have done the same thing, or did I go too far? Here's a story that genuinely baffled me. My girlfriend works overnight shifts, 7 at night to 7 in the morning. After a 12-hour shift, she'd sometimes come to my place, take a quick shower, and sleep. We're talking 8:30 in the morning, 5 to 10 minutes, completely normal. My mom's friend rents our basement. He complained that the shower woke him up. My mom passed it along and asked if my girlfriend could wait until everyone was awake. I told my girlfriend. And honestly, I get why she was done. After working all night, the last thing you want is to feel like your basic hygiene is an inconvenience. So she quietly stopped coming over in the mornings. No drama, no blow-up, just a calm, mature decision. Then my mom got upset, not about the shower, about my girlfriend choosing to stop coming over. So let me get this straight. Her friend complained about the shower, my girlfriend removed herself entirely, and somehow that's the problem? My mom insists she didn't mean to make her feel unwelcome. But when you tell someone their morning shower after a night shift is disturbing people, what message do you think that sends? I pay rent here too. My girlfriend wasn't being loud or unreasonable. She was being a human being after a 12-hour shift. I passed along the complaint. My girlfriend made her choice. Now I'm the bad guy. Would you have pushed back harder, or did my girlfriend make the right call? This one made my blood boil. I brought back a beautiful bottle of sake from Japan. I'd taken a tasting class specifically to find the right one. It was sentimental. It was a souvenir. It was meant for us. I also had an unopened bottle of German wine a friend had gifted me. My husband asked me multiple times if he could give the sack away to his dad, his cousin, his friends. Every single time I said no. Clearly, no room for confusion. He even refused to drink it with me once because he had a headache, so most of the bottle was still full. I also bought him a separate bottle of whiskey specifically for his friends. He had his own thing. He knew that. Then I'm away for a night. He has friends over after a pub crawl. I didn't even worry about it. We'd had that conversation a dozen times. Next day, I ask where the sake is. He casually tells me he served it to his friends, along with the wine. They finished everything. When I confronted him, he said he forgot, then said he doesn't remember unimportant things. Unimportant? And then instead of apologizing, he told me not to let it ruin our relationship and suggested I see a counselor. He didn't forget. He just decided my boundaries didn't matter when I wasn't there to enforce them. Would you have let that slide? Here is one that caught me off guard. So my boyfriend and I are stuck in a dead-stop traffic jam. Highway's closed. We're going nowhere. And I have to pee so badly I can barely think straight. I see guys jogging to the side of the road, so I grab my stand-to-pee device from the glove box. I've had it for years. It's practical. It's clean. It's fast. My boyfriend loses it. He says people will see me and think I'm trans. I told him that's not how that works. Plenty of women use these things, and also I genuinely did not care. He tells me to squat instead. on a highway in front of traffic. I said absolutely not. I'm not flashing everyone just to protect his ego. He doubles down, says he doesn't want people looking at his girlfriend and getting the wrong idea. I'm about to burst, so I ran to the side of the road, kept my back to traffic, slipped the device through my zipper, and handled it in about 10 seconds. Nobody saw a thing. I got back in the car. He gave me the silent treatment, said I disrespected his feelings. Here's the update, though. He's my ex now. Turns out there were other red flags. I ditched the man and kept the funnel. And honestly, best trade I ever made. Would you have stayed with someone who acted like this? So there you have it. Now I want to hear from you. Was this person in the right or completely out of line? Drop your verdict in the comments below. If you enjoyed this one, hit like and subscribe so you never miss the next story.